Hey everybody, it's Caroline from Woodcraft, and today we're going to be talking about my favorite way to cook in the woods, so let's check it out. So we're going to start with alcohol stoves, and first up we have the Pop Can DIY alcohol stove, and Corey also made a chicken wire pot stand for it. We have the Esbit and the Pathfinder alcohol stove. So we did flip the snuffer rings on the Esbit and the Pathfinder alcohol stove. The Pathfinder one has a gap, and so you could think that you've snuffed out the flame and go to pick it up, and then you'll end up burning yourself. And since I don't really care for the Esbit because it doesn't have a pot stand, we just flipped the rings around. The DIY actually works very well. There's just two downsides. So it's not very sturdy, and you have to be careful how heavy the pot you're using is. And also, you cannot store your fuel in here. Otherwise it'll spill out. So you have to make sure you have an extra... You have to make sure that you have the fuel bottle with you as well. For the Pathfinder one, which I find to be the #1 alcohol stove, it has a big container for your fuel, a very sturdy pot stand that comes with it. It's a really nice stove. But alcohol is not my favorite way to cook because you can't control the flame. So when it comes to boiling water and making like Mountain House or Backpacker's Pantry or tea, coffee, my favorite way to cook it is the canister stove, which I'm sure you guys see me use in almost all of my Caroline's Taste Test videos because it is my favorite. And I just like the burners. I like that you can adjust the flame. I like that, and essentially the heat with that. I like how it feels sturdier than a pot stand to me. It just feels more secure having the feet hold the pot in place. And they're so simple to use. So this one was my first one, and I use it quite a bit. And it has the 4 feet on it. They're super easy to use. You just open the valve a little bit and then you hit here to spark it. And the other one I have, I was really skeptical at first. I thought, there is no way this is going to hold my cooking pot. There is just no way. And it's this little titanium stove. It is so light and compact and just tiny. You wouldn't think that it would hold your pot, but it does, and it's very secure. And then this one, you open the valve and you actually need to use a lighter for this one. So that's why this is still my favorite for the canister stove, because I don't like lighting the gas that close. I've never had anything happen. It's just I prefer using the sparker. But this is a really nice stove. It's lightweight, and I still will use this over alcohol because I just, again, like how sturdy the feet make me feel. And so it's worth it to carry the extra fuel. And really, like, that's it. Like, that's insane. So small. But my favorite way to cook in the woods is over an open flame. Especially, well, with fresh food. So sometimes when we go camping, we'll bring fresh meat and fresh vegetables to cook over the fire, and nothing beats having a grill grate for that, because it can get kind of tricky on how you're going to do it if you don't have a grill grate, and you have to be really careful. Like a lot of people use rocks, and you have to be careful because they can crack from the moisture if you put them in the flame. Sticks work, but sometimes that can get a little gross. So grates are the way to go when you're cooking over an open flame. Just put your steak on here, your corn right here. You can move it to, if you're getting too much heat, you can just move it back a little bit and kind of adjust your cooking that way. So we have the Coglins. We have this smaller one, which is good for both Corey and I. And then if we go camping with our family, we bring the big Coglins one, and then you can cook for a lot of people on there. You do have to be careful with grill grates because they're not all created equal. I can't remember the brand that it was, but when we first started, we had this one that came in a little tube, and so you'd have to assemble it, and it was so chintzy, and sometimes, I can't think of what these are called right now. I guess it's just the grate pieces. The grate pieces would get loose and fall out because they weren't screwed in. You just set them in and tighten the ends. So you have to be careful. Coglins makes really sturdy ones. It's 3 pieces, but they're put together very well. It's worth the space that it takes up. So there's my opinions on the best way to cook in the woods. Canister stove for boiling water, and fire and grates for fresh food. I want to know what your favorite way to cook in the woods is. Do you prefer the alcohol stoves over the canister stoves, and why is that? Make sure to drop that in the comment section below. Don't forget to give this a big thumbs up and share, and I'll see you guys on the next one.